In the VEGA program, there are several commands that can be used to precisely set the working planes. We will start with the command, set work plan by polylines. Then we will look at the other commands. Let's take a look at this building. We want to draw the facades of this building. Let's look at the building from the top. Before we start working, we need to draw a polyline as accurately as possible, the lines of which will define our working planes. We select the polyline command and draw the outer contour of our building as accurately as possible. It can be a closed or an open polyline. It doesn't matter. These are our future work planes. Let's look at the building from the side. The polyline is drawn at level 0. Let's change the transparency and look at the building from the side. The height of the building is about 15 meters. Let's move our polyline up to about the middle of the building. I'm going to explain to you later what this is for. We have a polyline that defines the contour of the building and is located in the middle of the building. Now we are going to create work planes. Select the command, set work plan by polylines. We define in which coordinate system we will do it. We can do it in the current coordinate system, in the current view, or in the world coordinate system. Work planes are created along the z-axis in the selected coordinate system. The Create Frame option. Select Yes. Do you want to delete the polyline we drew? No, we still need it. The name for each new work plane will begin with this prefix. It will be appended with a unique view number. As I said, the building is about 15 meters high. The polyline is roughly in the middle. I want to create a frame. Its top border will be 10 meters above the polyline, and its bottom border will be 10 meters below the polyline. The height of the label is 0.4. We select the polyline and get a set of working planes. If we now change the transparency, we will see that we have working planes for each wall of the building. And this is the frame that we talked about. It's made so that we can see exactly where we are. We can switch from one view to the next by selecting them from the list of views. Let's change the transparency. Each frame is on its own layer. And of course we can turn the layer on or off. But we have some problems because the buildings are rectangular, and we can't see exactly which wall we are working with. That's why we should use the command, Create Vertical Dynamic Slice by Polyline together with this command. To run this command, we need an existing polyline and a point cloud. Run the command, Create Vertical Dynamic Section by Polyline. The same parameters as in Set Workplan by Polylines, but there is no frame. Now we need to define the distance to the slice from the outside of the building and from the inside of the building. Using the browser, we can find the wall we need. There's a separate video for this command. Now we can select the wall we want to work with using the browser command, Browse Dynamic Point Cloud Slice. We select Point Cloud and look for the wall we are interested in. Note that the slice numbers correspond to the view numbers. We find the view that corresponds to our wall number. Now I need to set the view number in the browser. Number 8. And now I can draw on this work plane. Let's change the transparency so we can see where we're drawing. With VEGA commands, you can draw different protruding elements, curved elements, and so on. But we'll talk about that in other videos. Let's look at the building from the side. As you can see, everything is drawn on the working plane. In addition to this command, there are other commands that allow us to precisely set the x and y coordinates of the plane. Let's have a look at them. For example, I want to make this surface my work plane. To select the viewpoint, I use the VEGA command, 3D View Orbit by Point. This is a very handy feature for selecting the view on point cloud. I do not select the plane very precisely. Let's run the command, set workplan by X and Y. I set the first point on the facade and use the second point to set the direction for the X-axis. The third point defines the work plane. This is very similar to the UCS command, but I only see the dynamic display of the coordinates of the points on the plane. And finally, to set the X-axis direction, there is another command. It's simpler. We'll first set a point at the X coordinate and use another point to set the direction of the X-axis. Now I can start drawing on this plane. Depending on your tasks, you can use any of these commands.